Good morning. Welcome to your Friday morning, early morning intuitive guidance. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum, America's kick-ass coach and psychologist, here with some words to get us rolling today. And today we're actually taking a break from the book we've been working on, Taking the War Out of Our Words, and we have a card from the Power of Surrender deck by Judith Orloff. And I think it dovetails well with what we've been talking about and kind of hits the nail on the head for what's going on in my world. So hopefully will for you also. Welcome to the two of you who have popped on. Cindy, good morning, welcome, welcome. And whomever else is here, glad you're here. So if you think about this as everything's unfolding in divine right timing and divine right order, this card is coming to us in divine right timing. Good morning, Carolyn, welcome, glad you're here. And I think it's so funny because it is surrender to divine timing. How's that for funny? Welcome to whomever else just joined us. Glad you're here. So surrendering to divine timing. And I think December can be one of those months where we feel like we're rushing to get things done. That time is compressed into this. If I had a buck for every time someone said, well, let's wait till after the holidays. To me, that there's the implication there that this is all harried and pressured and not so fun. Yesterday, my sister and I went to a bunch of restores and resale shops in the Sun Prairie and Madison area, which was really fun. We had a great time. We had this fabulous lunch and cupcakes for dessert. We had fun. But I was commenting how I greatly appreciated that we don't all exchange gifts. If we find something during the year that we think suits somebody, we buy it and give it to them then. Because don't want to deal with that rushing. Just don't. So, but this may be helpful for some of you with regard to that. Good morning, Holly. Glad you are here. Welcome. So, surrender to divine timing. And as I read the words, I kind of smirked because this is Judith Orloff, and she is totally mirroring what Tosha Silver would say, what I would say, etc. So let's see what it says. Sometimes divine timing may differ from your ego's timing. Most times divine timing will differ from your ego's timing. If a goal isn't manifesting fast enough, and it doesn't even have to be a goal, it can be an event, it can be a connection with a person, it can be a conversation. If it isn't happening fast enough, according to your ego, be patient and trust the universal flow. Absolutely. But what do you do when your ego's kind of chomping at the bit, pushing, shoving, whining, pissing, moaning, all that stuff that our egos do? To me, this is, if we want to talk on the 3D level, what we're going to do is be patient. But if we want to talk on the 5D level, what we're actually doing is opening space for the universe to run the show. It does anyway. We like to think in our little ego self that we're calling our own shots, but we're co-creating with the universe. We don't have control over everything. When something isn't unfolding as we think it ought to, should, must, have to, you get the gist. If we can relax, open our grip, breathe. Nope. However this is going is divine right timing. So I have a friend right now who's looking to move, and there have been several instances where something on the back end is kind of pushing her, like someone else interested in the place where she's living right now, etc. But nothing is forthcoming in terms of a new place to live. So she's getting the perfect opportunity to practice letting it go. That if it were meant to happen, if it had been meant to happen already, it would have. So the fact that it isn't happening, yes, she'd like to move before there's snow everywhere, but that may not be the divine plan, right? So how do you bide your time with that? How do you Breathe into what is. I go back to the Byron Katie stuff. If you haven't read her book, Loving What Is, read it because she talks about the amount of energy we hemorrhage into lamenting, fighting what is. I'm glad you're loving the card. This is good. Yes. And I think it's going to speak to all of us. To all of us. We do need this reminder every single day. Absolutely. Divine timing, not our timing. And somewhere on my desk here, I have one that references that. Where the heck is it? Well, the related one is I have all the time, energy, and money necessary to do what I want to do. To do what I want to do. So think about that in terms of abundance. There's more than enough here. There's more than enough time to accomplish what we're here to accomplish. There's more than enough energy. We may not feel it immediately, but then we want to take a look at how are we getting in our own way, right? We may be draining off a whole lot of energy by fretting about things not happening when it's not time yet. It's not divine right timing. So what would be some good ones? What have some of you used already to help you remember it's in divine timing? It's not in Bonnie timing, it's not in Cindy timing, it's not in Holly timing, it's divine timing. How do you remind yourself of that? Daily, sometimes hourly, minutely. It's in divine timing. The God jar is another method for reminding ourselves that it's in divine timing. When we put it in the jar, whatever it is we're fretting about, we're letting it go. We're acknowledging it's out of our hands. All right? So use your God jar as another tool for this. Good morning, Beth. Welcome, welcome. Glad you are here. So what other tools do you have? They may be tools I taught you. They may be tools you've learned elsewhere. What other tools do you have for surrendering to divine timing? Another one is, for me, is simply the breath. Take a breath here. Slow things down. Stop shoving. Allow. See what happens. Self-talk. Working it through in my head. Ah, there we go. Yes. I visualize my ego in a fence play area with some books when she gets too bossy, and then I can wait for the right time. Yes, yes, yes. That's an awesome one. So assuage your ego in some way. How can you placate your ego? Let it get distracted with something else perhaps, and then you can move forward. Again, we don't want to get rid of ego. It's a necessary part of being a human being, but we don't want it running the show. It doesn't get to drive the bus, all right? It gets to sit on the bus and read a book, but it doesn't get to drive the bus. And so even just keeping in mind, where's my ego at on this thing? Is it trying to grab the steering wheel, or is it sitting in a seat reading a book? All right? Excuse me, got a frog today. So those are some things that you can do to help yourself settle into divine timing. Put some more up. If you got some other ideas, things I've mentioned, other things you've learned from other people, etc., put them in there. Go back to tapping and also saying stop. Yes, yes, stop is a huge one. Just stop. When my mind starts running off, so this morning, 3 lists generated. And at some point I had to say, okay, now you've done the brain dump. It's on the paper. Leave it be. Leave it be. Stay on the paper. Let go of all that. Now you know where to find it. It doesn't need to be rolling around in your head anymore because it's on the paper. It's committed to paper. That's why for me, journaling is so helpful. It gets the chatter in my head to quiet down. So your mission for today, should you choose to accept it, is I want you to dig out a couple tools in terms of dealing with your ego when it's reacting to things not occurring in ego timing, but actually occurring in divine timing. So we've got several that people have put up here. That's awesome. I said a couple other ones. You probably have some yourself. Pull them out of the mothballs. Let's use those. So we're embracing divine timing today. For those of you who are newer, if you would like to receive these early morning intuitive guidances via email, that way you can get to them whenever you get to them, just send the word yes to Bonnie at empowermentandpurpose.com. So it's Bonnie, the @ symbol, empowerment and purpose, all spelled out, all little letters.com. The word yes, and I will add you to the email list for those who get these YEMIGs via email. Doesn't mean you can't watch them live too, but sometimes it's nice to have it in an email. It's easier to find them. You can put them in a folder, etc. All right, have an awesome day. See you again tomorrow. Remember, you're capable of far more than you think you are. Bye-bye.